For this episode of the Future Humans 3.0 vodcast show, we welcome the incredible Hrish to the Holoship. Welcome, how are you?
Oh, it's great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you. It's awesome to meet you and excited to dig in and talk a lot about the metaverse. So thanks for having me.
Hrish is the co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld, and it's his mission to connect the user community with brands to create, discover, and monetize their own virtual worlds as part of this open metaverse. And SuperWorld is this virtual world which is mapped to the physical world, where users can buy, sell, collect, and curate. Is it over 64.8 billion unique plots of virtual land? That's incredible.
That's right. That's
amazing.
Right. Divided the surface of the earth into 100 meter by 100 meter plots of virtual land.
Right. And so is it true that you can become a stakeholder in the platform and share in the revenue created on your virtual land?
Yeah, so basically how it works is that when you buy virtual land in SuperWorld, you become a stakeholder on the platform. And again, you can create, discover, and monetize anything, anywhere.
Yep.
And, by being an owner of land, you definitely have an interest geographically in a certain part of the world. Whether you have a business there, you want to sell art there. Or you want to do some educational experiences there. Whatever you want to build, you can build anywhere. But if you own a place, you're able to kind of build things there and make that place your own in a way that you can, again, add value to that location.
I love that. And just like rolling back to the name SuperWorld itself, what an incredible name. Like, how did you come up with that? What was the purpose behind the name itself, SuperWorld?
Thank you. My co-founder and I had a few different kind of, I think, reasonings for that name. So one, in SuperWorld, there's an infinite number of filters on the world, right? And in physics, there's this, concept of superpositioning, where there's multiple things happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so that's the super from that comes from, that physics term,
right.
Superpositioning.
Wow.
As well as the other part of it is, SuperWorld is all about building a super world. Mm-hmm. And how do we, improve the world and create an amazing place for all of us in the real world. And so, that's what it really stands for. What if you could create a world and that world was your super world, what would that be? And that's what we enable people to do, is build their super world.
Finally, the technology feels like it's catching up to where our visions are for creating, this, you could put it perfectly, super world, because it's like this utopian, protopian vision of the future, and we're bringing it to the present day with all of this metaverse tech stack. So I'd love to know, like, how long has SuperWorld been operating, and what's your roadmap, especially for this year in 2022?
Yeah, so we've been around for a while now. We started SuperWorld in 2017, so 5 years. Wow. Very early in the mobile AR space, as well as in the NFT space and Web3, and have had this vision of building a virtual world on top of the real world. Very open metaverse vision for a very long time, very long-term oriented with our vision. And, in terms of our roadmap, it's really, this year is a lot of building. So we have a lot of building to do.
Yeah.
We're upgrading the mobile app, we're upgrading our real estate platform, literally upgrading everything that we're doing, and making it much more seamless to, buy NFTs and create NFTs and discover NFTs. And for us, it's really about, again, being very customer obsessed and understanding what our super citizens want to build in SuperWorld.
Yes.
Because they're telling us what they want to do. And what we're doing is building the tools to enable them to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I read on your website, there was a blog post which was that you're welcoming a future where super citizens, I love that term by the way, can expand the utility of their land plots into their daily lives. And I just love that seamless interoperability actually between the physical and the virtual world. And to me, that truly resembles the vision of the metaverse and the open metaverse. When you buy a piece of land, right, and it's part of this virtual XR ecosystem, like I'm curious, how does it work? Because like land is obviously tangible and scarce, and what's the utility for SuperWorld?
Yeah. So again, we've divided the surface of the earth into 64 billion properties. Each property is about a city block of land, 100 meters by 100 meters.
Yeah.
And again, when you buy those plots, you're buying NFTs, digital assets on Ethereum. And, the reason there's scarcity is each one is a collectible, right? There's only one of each, right?
Yes.
And again, you're able to kind of create, discover, and monetize anything, anywhere. And as a real estate owner, you're really creating value in this location, and therefore enabling others to want to create and build and make this area, geolocalized area, an area of interest in the world. And everyone, what's beautiful about the land that I find is everyone has a story.
Yes.
So when I ask you, where did you buy land in SuperWorld?
Yeah.
You're going to be very specific. You're going to tell me exactly where, and you're going to, if you own lots of land, you're going to know each one, and you usually people have a real smile on their face when they talk about the places they own. And the reason why is they have a very personal connection to these places, places they maybe live, maybe they work in these areas, maybe they, gone to school, and they have a very personal why, which is great. They tell me exactly like what that why is, what is it that made this place so special?
Yes.
And so what we're seeing that's interesting is, unlike the broader NFT market, where a lot of people are like, I don't know why I'm buying land, or I don't know, well, not land, but just in general, why I'm buying NFTs. Like, in this case, they're being very specific, and they have a very kind of specific why that they almost like they covet their land. They're very proud of it. And then, most importantly, they're telling us what they want us to build, or what they want to build, basically, meaning like, what are they interested in building? And then, again, we're going to help build the tools for them to accomplish that.
That's incredible. And I intrinsically believe that we're all creators at heart and storytellers. We all have a story to tell. And by you associating with the contextual and the geolocation takes this to a whole new level. And what I really love about your mission as well is like accessibility, like, you know what I mean? Like, cause that, the metaverse should be accessible to everyone, and be able to bring those voices, those underrepresented voices and their stories and user generated content using this technology with the virtual land and interoperability with the physical land to tell their stories and share their art. And you've got an NFT salon marketplace, which is incredible, and you have artists in residence like the wonderful Krista Kim. I was just on a panel with her. Really love that vision of putting humanity first in the metaverse. So I'm very curious with augmented reality, how do you envision this in the future? Say, where would the tipping point be, like that virality moment, like Pokemon Go as well, and this user-generated content so everyone can share their stories?
Yeah, the part about the content creation is really, how do you enable people to create content from anywhere? So any type of engine they're using, Maya, Blender, if they're using their phone, whatever it is, we want to make sure that they're able to get content from anywhere into SuperWorld, as well as any content they're creating in SuperWorld, make that very shareable so they can share it on other platforms. Potentially if they're creating NFTs, they can sell those NFTs elsewhere. Right. So our vision is very open. All right, we're building a very open metaverse, and we want content to come from anywhere and go to anywhere.
Amazing. And so with the metaverse, you know, at the moment it's very, the web 2 and the mentality and just the tech itself is very static, you know, and 2D, and then we're moving to spatial and dynamic, real-time, synchronous information. So how do you perceive the world being like when we can get all of that real-time information, and maybe there will be devices such as smart glasses or phones, you know, to see that?
Yeah, you know, I think this is where the SuperWorld comes in. You know, as we are getting more information on our environment, more context on, you know, where we live and spend time and work and play, and, you know, we're able to really, I think, make smarter decisions. We're able to utilize tokenomics to benefit from taking certain actions, or you know, interacting with brands that we love in certain ways, which is what, you know, we're really building, which is called Live to Earn. The concept of how you use tokenomics to incentivize, you know, real world actions and things, doing, you know, helping people do things that they're passionate about. And that's our goal, is, you know, helping people do what they love. And, you know, I think that as the data side of this gets better, we're able to kind of help facilitate those things and better understand what users want to do, what our super citizens want to do. And, you know, I think that's what's going to be very impactful for us in our lives, when we can make better decisions, because we have just more access to information. And by the way, permissioned access. So, you know, again, permission use of data. I don't want people, you know, showing you things that you don't want to see. So it's got to be, you know, again, SuperWorld is your world. So you kind of decide, you know, how you're interacting with it. I think the amazing thing is, again, we've been in this space now for a while. You know, we've been, again, in the Web3 space since 2018 doing NFTs. And I think early on, you know, the only people that, you know, if I said the word NFT back in 2018, the only people that would be interested in that are people that are like kind of really deep into crypto, right? So they definitely, you know, are all over ERC20s, and then they're, you know, want to get into NFTs and ERC 721 at the point in time with Ethereum. And, you know, so very crypto focused, crypto natives, you know, who would get it right away.
Will there be a fiat on-ramp?
Yeah. I mean, now there's fiat on-ramps, like we have MoonPay and Wire and others. But all I'm trying to say is that since then and now, back last year, you know, NFTs became, you know, a more mainstream term. And they became cool, right? So now, you know, most people know the term NFT. I was just hanging out with a DJ last night that was like, you know, NFTs were like what she wanted to get into, right? I mean, it was like, it's like this thing that everyone kind of recognizes as a thing that they need to learn more about or get involved with. And that was very different 4 years ago. The word NFT, you wouldn't even want to say it because people would maybe even not understand what it is that you were talking about. So you had to explain, you know, more of the attributes of what an NFT is and how it works. And so I think it's really changed. And to fully answer your question, you know, with SuperWorld, I think that a lot of people, you know, in this space or in general, they're like, I don't know what the metaverse is. I don't know what AR, VR is. I don't know what blockchain or Web3 or NFTs are. But the beauty of it with SuperWorld is they know where they're from. They know where they like to, you know, go out. They know where their business is. And so they get a wallet. They get some crypto, some Ethereum, and then they can go and buy those places where they spend time in SuperWorld, right? And so now they have this like direct kind of connection to those places they love. And therefore we're kind of serving as this gateway to the metaverse for a lot of people that, you know, again, may not necessarily be crypto natives, but now when they own, you know, now they have a Web3 wallet, you know, now they have crypto, now they want to get into, you know, more crypto or DeFi or something else.
Yeah, for sure. So it's that the Gartner hype cycle, as well as onboarding the masses as well, and that's with any cycle in technology. But yes, the metaverse is here to stay. And Hrish, why is the open metaverse so important? Decentralization as well, and interoperability.
Yeah, so I think that we've moved from and Web 2 to Web 3, and Web 3 is all about ownership, and it's about being able to buy assets and take those assets with you across the metaverse through other virtual worlds, and be able to again benefit from all of the time and resources and, effort that one puts into, for many is real work or real kind of entertainment even that they're kind of spending time on. So I think that having that interoperability, that transportability of assets really enables people to have that kind of free experience, free meaning unrestrained from, the walls of Web 2 or more of a centralized kind of framework. And so I think that the open metaverse really speaks to that. And again, it's not even just about NFTs, but it's about, utilizing tools and engines and, frameworks that are open and very accessible to anyone. So again, it's moving more and more decentralized in terms of what's possible, and I think over time we're going to see that. I think as more people adopt this open metaverse mindset, they're going to ask for it, because it's going to be, what's required, because they're able to do that everywhere else in the metaverse.
It's very empowering, and your mission is very empowering. So, where do you see SuperWorld, let's say in the next 5 to 10 years, in terms of real world social impact? If you could outline that, that vision.
Yeah, I think that in terms of real world social impact for us, it's all about how do we build a platform that actually benefits the real world. So it might sound ironic, but SuperWorld is all about the real world and people's real lives, and how do we leverage these technologies, AR, VR, blockchain, AI, NFTs in general, to do very positive things. So as an example of that, when you buy virtual land, we'll plant trees in the real world. We're partnered with the World Bank in the Caribbean in relation to disaster recovery for hurricane season. We've partnered with UNESCO to help rebuild cities like Beirut, Lebanon.
Yes.
For us, we do projects literally every week all around the world that are focused on positivity for the world, for the planet, for humanity. So it's a really big part of our mission. I think it's a real opportunity to use these technologies in a way that are very impactful for people. People can feel good about using these technologies and getting involved in SuperWorld, and that's what I want.
I really resonate with that mission. So thank you so much for sharing and being on the Holoship today.
Thank you for having me. We're very excited about working closer to you, and I love your work, and thank you again for the opportunity to share our mission. I look forward to continuing this conversation as we make progress.